So obviously you've worked with us on quite a variety of projects. If you could just rattle a few of those off, so we get a little bit of an idea on the background.
Okay, so basically, we have done a few projects. One of them being ads and socials for our women's fitness center in Erskine Park, and that was basically for the purpose of lead generation. Currently, we're working on launching a brand, completely new brand line of supplements. We've done collaborations helping other gyms previously. Yeah, so we've done a few things together. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm curious, like, did you ever work with any marketing agencies before you worked with the Hive?
Yeah. I have. I've worked with website companies. I've worked with ad companies. I've worked with all-round marketing companies. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what was your journey like? Did they stack up?
Oh, dude, I tell you what, it was. Um, I can't explain it. Some were like super frustrating. Some were basically cookie cutter, businesses that looked like they were personalizing, but they weren't really. Yeah, I've pretty much experienced all of them.
Yeah, it's a bit of an ocean out there. There's
It is, yeah.
there's a lot going on. But yeah, awesome, man. So definitely you've experienced like both sides of it. So that's pretty cool. So, I mean, what was attractive about our process that made you want to, continue to work with us?
So I think just the process in itself, you've got a very systematic approach to everything that generally it covers a lot of bases, and I think the notion of dealing with the immediate problems or the immediate things that I needed to work on. So with lead generation, it was, let's get basically like the ads up and running as quickly as possible. The process is quite streamlined, in terms of the creatives, really good looking creatives. I'm just remembering one of the other projects for the candy company. The graphics and stuff were outstanding, and so I didn't really having a graphic design sort of background myself. I know it's very hard to get companies that are creative, but we had no problems with this. So
That's awesome, man. And I can tell, like, yeah, you've got the lingo down. You sound like a marketer yourself. So that's awesome. That's great. So, I suppose the next one is like, was there any particular reason that you chose to do business with us as opposed to someone else?
look, the thing that stands out the most is it's just easy to get along with the team. On that initial call, it's kind of like, how do I explain it? Being in business myself for so long, you just want to be around people that are obviously like-minded, but the biggest thing that stands out is like you want the best for each other, and so it's like um, I guess kind of like dealing with a company that's like a mate, with your best interests at heart, and not and open to um, you know getting to know you better as a business in order to then provide or get to the solution that you're really after. If that makes sense, I know sort of gone around the circle a little bit there, but
That's good, man. You're making me blush. You're
yeah,
making me blush. That's amazing, dude. Thanks for the amazing feedback. That's great.
yeah.
That's super good feedback, and I'm really thankful to hear that. That's great. So I suppose like that kind of answered it in itself, but you know, I will still ask the question like, how easy is it to work with the Hive? Like, and like, do you find our processes simple? Like, I suppose what I mean by that is like, and you probably experienced this in the past with other agencies, but like what we hear from a lot of potential clients who we might work with is that it's going to be, lack of a better term, like a reinvention and a big nightmare to kind of come over. And like, did you find that it was anything like that, or did you find we were able to like, kind of like you said before, streamline it, but make it a nice, easy transition for you?
It's a very easy transition, and I think for I think for a lot of business owners that are looking at, involving a marketing agency, there's this notion that they're going to solve every single problem for you. But the thing is, with you guys, like you highly specialize, um, you know, in what you do, and so it's like having this broad level of experience. I think appeals to, the level of, I guess, pain points that someone might experience. And so for me, like it was a very going through, say, the questions where you guys are getting to know me or knowing my company. I can see that how a lot of that information actually does go into the creatives, and it's a more mindful process rather than um, just a tick the box sort of process, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's great. That's great. And I think it comes back to what you said earlier, right? Like we definitely pride ourselves on trying to make it streamlined and as easy as possible. But also not having that cookie cutter process and not having a
Yeah,
one size sort of, one
yeah,
size fits all model. And really, I think, well, especially from my perspective, that's what really separates us from the rest. And like, I'm super
yeah,
happy to hear that come across in your experience as well. So that's
yeah,
awesome.
awesome.
Awesome, my man. And the next one is just like basically like around communication. And once again, I'll give a little bit of context for why we're asking this question. Is we get a lot
Yep,
of we find that a lot of people get lost in the weeds when
yep,
with other agencies that they have multiple forms of communication in the fact of like one person who's looking after one
yeah.
aspect of their account and another person that's looking after, and they constantly double handling everything. So
Mm.
how do you find that communication is with us, and like do you enjoy the fact that we give you one point of contact?
Yeah, that works for me, because I myself am dealing with so many different people, um, in terms of clientele, other businesses, and things like that. Minimizing the contact channels is just makes it a lot easier. It's one less thing for me to think about, knowing that it's just coming from one source
Yeah,
rather than multiple different. And the thing is, it creates a unified front, and so I can see that there's, knowing what needs to happen in terms of communication, I can see that there's things being done on the background where you guys are communicating with each other, and I don't need to be part of the chit chat and stuff like that. You guys are actually doing the heavy lifting for me. So yeah,
that's great. That's great feedback, and like especially like for lack of a better term, that's what we want to do. That's exactly what we wanted to achieve, right? We wanted to try and make it so, for instance, like a real estate agent, or if you do any kind of big purchase that you're doing, or if you're getting a loan in a bank or anything, you always get designated an account manager, and that person kind of looks after your whole journey. And we found that like with a lot of other agencies, that kind of slipped through the cracks and was something that we really wanted to implement. So super happy to hear that that's been the case for
yeah,
you. So
definitely.
so obviously, like we spoke about earlier, we've done quite a lot of different projects with you, which is incredibly cool. But
Yeah.
anything that you wouldn't mind sharing, what exact services have you gotten from us? You mentioned lead generation, you mentioned like brand awareness stuff. Is there anything else that
Uh,
you've kind of, done with us?
so yeah, so lead gen, website as well.
Cool.
Um, Lead gen website, socials, and this current one's probably be the most extensive because it's a full brand launch. So,
Yep.
um, and I think for myself is that I've been with you guys, trying out, not trying out, like you guys have helped me with all these different little things, but this one's like a complete thing. So I've been able to at least gain lots of confidence because you're repeating results with like Facebook ads, website, all that sort of stuff. And so it's like a no-brainer to be able to actually do a full brand launch,
Love it.
with you guys and have that fully controlled. I don't have to deal with someone specifically for Facebook ads. I don't have to deal with someone specifically for website or someone for a campaign strategy on a brand launch or anything like that. It just makes it easier, all in the one place. Just because I have the confidence that you guys will, really pull through with this one. So, and the results from the past speak for itself. So, yeah.
That's amazing, man. Awesome. Um, that's great. Like, I mean, like I said, I'm blushing. That's great. So the second last thing I wanted to ask is, Is there anything, and once again, only stuff that you're comfortable to share, you don't have to share
Yeah.
dollars or anything, but like, are there any specific results that you wouldn't mind sharing? Or on the flip side, any unexpected results or any unexpected surprises?
I think so. I know when we did our Facebook ads, just generating a really low CPL or cost per lead,
Yep.
where within our industry, which is the fitness industry, we can generally, you know, like the general benchmark for the product that we do is like $80 to $120 per lead. So we're able to achieve like, you guys were able to achieve something I think along the lines of like $30 to $40, which is like significantly lower. And as low as I think we ended up with like $10 a lead.
Once everything was
With
optimized,
certain
right?
campaigns. What's that?
Like once everything was optimized and we were like really.
Yeah. That was one significant one, and then probably the most significant one was the SEO that was done on our website. So new website SEO, and then we were basically ranking, like covering the first page of Google search within our area, and that was and that lasted. That continued like, or has continued for the last couple of years. So it's insane the SEO that was done on the website back then, and it just continues to produce results for us. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Would you mind sharing the location that you're in? Is that okay?
We're in Erskine Park in New South Wales. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's perfect.
Western Sydney. Yeah.
Great. So, I mean, other than that, the last question is the cliche one, right? What would you say to anyone who's maybe considering working with us?
I think, look, for people, if you're unsure about things, if I know there's a lot of sketchy sort of marketing agencies, and there are like it's insane. But I've tried it. I've been in business myself for over 15 years, and so you guys have helped me like massively in just, I guess, just knowing that you guys are doing everything you can on the back end, in terms of what I need, like in terms of marketing, Facebook ads, whether it be socials, creatives, all of that sort of stuff. I know that there's a team behind me taking care of that, looking after that. And so for me, it's like I've got trusted professionals backing my business up. And so yeah, it's for anyone looking at getting someone involved to help with their lead generation and whatnot, to boost sales and things like that. Like you guys doing amazing work. So I have full confidence in recommending you, full confidence in your ability. And if someone wants to reach out to me and ask, hey, how'd you go with them? And like, I'm more than happy to give you guys a plug, because you've done such an amazing work with me. And it's the main reason why I keep, doing all these projects with you guys. So yeah.
That's amazing, man. Wow, what great feedback.